Hey guys, it's the Cheese Curl Papa here with a brand new video. And before this video begins, a couple of things I wanna say before the video fully kicks in. I have not made a video in about a month, roughly. Mostly because I've gotten a job over this summer break, and I've mostly been preoccupied with working that job, which for the most part has been pretty enjoyable. So yeah, and come home and just want to play the game, don't want to make a video. I don't have that kind of free time anymore. Well, most of the time I do, but I get lazy, as most people do. So, you know, and the reason why I'm making a Dead by Daylight video is because one, I think the game is extremely fun, and it's not like a brand new game or something. It's not like it's a new free game on PS Plus or something like that. I made a Dead by Daylight video a few years ago that was, in all honesty, in my opinion, a bit shit. So consider this like a redux, basically, of me actually explaining things like how a human being would explain things. Now, I'm not going to go into like killer details, like how to play certain killers, because I feel like those could be individual videos. This is more or less a basic guide to Dead by Daylight, how to Dead by Daylight, basically. So let's just jump right into it. Dead by Daylight is a game of killers and survivors, cat and mouse, and hey, so eventually someone's gonna have to be the mouse. So basically, when you're playing Survivor, you can have different playstyles as different survivors do different things. Jake is a saboteur. Sorry for all the French people out there, but and certain other killers may specialize in repairing the generators, which by the way, you need to turn on a minimum of 5 generators so you get the chance to activate the escape lever by the escape door, and then it opens up, and then you can make a break for it basically, or a trap door will spawn, but that's map by map. And when you're doing it, you get these skill checks like you just seen on screen, and if you mess up or don't hit L1 or whatever your button prompt will be, then you fail the then you mess up, and then it will like let off a mini explosion, and then the killer will see it on his or her map, and when it's completed, you'll be notified by if it will make a noise, and then the killer will also be alerted to said noise, and then they'll know your location. So basically, when you activate this generator, you better start running. And then the other part is, if your fellow survivor is downed, like by the killer, or they're just weak from getting hit from the killer, or you unhook them from the sacrificial hooks, you can heal them if you have a med kit, which is extremely useful, because then that means they can take more hits. They'll be set back to their 3 hits. And also, the numbers game, because if you run around in a big group, you have the advantage of, in case the killer shows up to start killing, you can pretty much Scooby-Doo it and split up and hope he doesn't find you all. But then again, that also makes you easier to find because you're all in a bunch. Or you could be spread out, making it hard to find you all, but you're also by yourself, making you easy to isolate and kill. So I would recommend for Dead by Daylight, mostly if you play with your friends, which playing with friends seems like a real pain. Sometimes you barely find matches, but stick with a group, preferably. Go in game chat and talk with your fellow survivors. Also, survivors can hide in closets, but I would not recommend this unless you're doing a quick strategy. Also, you can throw pallets down if you're being chased, which if the killer goes to hit you but hits the pallet, they'll like grunt and then have to break the pallet or go around it. You can also jump through windows, a bunch of other stuff that the killer just cannot do. So yeah, Survivor is a bit more of a patient game. The whole bit of Dead by Daylight is patience, because you can't go and rush in, you can't do anything like that. You have to take your time with the game, because those who rush it tend to be the first to die. Now, the other part of Dead by Daylight is playing as a killer. Now, for the demonstration, I will be using the Death Slinger, one of the DLC killers, who has a spear gun. And he is a very unique killer for the fact of he has a gun. Now, it isn't like an AK-47 or M16. It shoots a spear that if you miss, you have to reel it back in and try again. Basically, if you play Call of Duty a lot and have good aiming skills, he's your man. And I'd mostly say I wouldn't recommend using him if you're new to the game at all. And the game will tell you which killers and survivors are good, like easy, intermediate, and hard. He's definitely up there on difficult ones. Basically, you reel him in and then you hit him. But like every killer is different, it's, case by case kind of thing. Certain ones like Trapper, you put a trap down and you hit him with the machete. You also got the nurse who can blink around, basically teleport. And, the doctor electrocutes, Wraith goes invisible, that kind of stuff. So like every killer is unique. So I'll try and go over like general tips. When you're chasing a survivor, and obviously they're going to maybe try and loop you around, basically run in a giant circle. What you want to do is don't get caught in the circle. Because if you get caught running in a circle, if they get it just right, you'll be running around infinitely. And all they're doing is gaining their teammates valuable time to get all the generators turned on so they can escape. What you want to do is basically, when you're chasing them around, pretty much try and break their ankles. It's like you're playing NBA 2K. Basically, break their ankles, like a LeBron James. That's all you gotta do. Or, if you can't do that, if you can't channel your inner LeBron James, what you want to do is basically either really like stop the loop, stop chasing them, cut through if it's like a big enough circle where you could cut through the middle, either jumping over something or just going straight, or pretend to give up the chase, like walk away but don't go so far you can't see them, and when they think you've gone away, then you jump out and get them. It's a bit of a long play, but it'd be worth it. Or if you still can't catch them, don't focus on them too much, look for the other ones, and eventually they'll come over to you. And what I would recommend is, it's a playstyle, granted, but I wouldn't super hardcore recommend it. The generators on the map, which you will see highlighted in red, do a bit of a patrol of them, because that's more than likely where they'll be. So if I would say focus on the ones on the farthest outsides of the map, like the ones farthest away from the center of the map, because those tend to be the safest ones for people to go to, and I'd recommend going for them. Now, in the beginning of the game, don't try and kill everybody off jump, because it's very unlikely you'll be able to do that. Now, if you can, by all means, go right ahead. But what I'm saying is, basically, you fill them with hope, then you cut them down. That's basically what I'm putting down here. And that seems to be the best strategy, because if you go for to kill them all at once, then you risk pretty much trying to kill one, and then by the time you get them on the hook, the other ones are already gone. And usually the people travel in packs anyway. So yeah, once you hook somebody, I'd recommend once they're hooked to basically camp their body for at least 10 seconds, maybe. It depends on what point of the game. If it's the beginning of the game, you can do this, you have time to kill basically. But if it's the like mid to end game, I wouldn't even say wait there. Hook them and then immediately go on the look. But as soon as you see someone go to unhook them, run back over there and pretty much kill them. Basically, that's what you got to do in this game. Eliminate whatever. And like I said already, there will definitely be harder killers to learn, and this is even amplified by toxic survivors who want to do that infinite loop and stuff. Use the flashlights, all those like really annoying things that they do. Try and use a crouching exploit, that kind of stuff. And what you want to do is basically keep a cool head, because if you get mad, if you get agitated, you'll start making like less precise movements, less like smart strategy. Basically, don't be a dum-dum, because if you're a dum-dum, then they'll get you. Now, listen to me, you guys. I would not feel honest to you guys unless I brought this up. Dead by Daylight is a paid game where you have to pay money, the almighty dollar, to obtain it. Usually it's on sale, but usually when it's not too pricey. But money's money, I understand. I would say for this, it's kind of like Rainbow Six Siege in the fact of, even though it's a paid game, you still may have to pay money out of your own pocket to gain newer released characters / operators for Siege's case. But for this, when you get the game initially, buy it, you will receive a few killers and survivors, but you will more than likely have to buy out of pocket for the hottest killer on the market, or, you know, new survivor, new killer, whatever the case. And I just want to let you know in advance to be prepared for that if you are watching this video before buying the game, which thank you so much for watching this, letting me be your guide, I guess. I would say to be prepared for this, so like you're not blindsided by it. The game has a marketplace, an item shop, if you will, where you buy cosmetics and characters and stuff like that. By me telling you this, I'm not saying don't buy Dead by Daylight killers or cosmetics, nothing like that. I'm not saying boycott behavior, none of that kind of stuff. I'm saying basically that when you go into the game, don't expect everything to be free. I know some of you might be thinking already, I wasn't thinking that. Well, you never know. So basically, you know, just go in there. When you're coming into the game, expect the fact that either you're gonna pay some money. Now mind you, it isn't like $20 for one person, because you can literally buy the killer themselves and the survivor for pretty cheap, or you can buy their whole chapter, which is like everything that comes with it, for about $20. So, you know, I'm just saying, before you go into the game, be prepared for this. Okay? Don't be blindsided by it. And that'll be it for the video today, guys. I've been the Chica Poppy. You guys have been great. And I will see you guys in the next video. Later.